All right, good people. Sorry about that. In the last minute or so, we had some type of technical difficulty with Facebook, and they killed our feed. Hopefully, it's resolved, and we can continue on with our NFL preview show. If not, then we will figure it out later. Again, this is the Guru Sports Session NFL 25 preview with me and my brother Hugh Lee, the Sports Guru. And I think we back to 6-7. Um, The other key is, do they really got a head coach? We'll find out. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know about Schottenheimer right
I
now.
don't know about that Schottenheimer.
I know about Marty, but not Brian.
I said if it was Marty, it'd be a whole nother ball game. But kid, we'll have to see. But yeah, I got them next. Who you got, Hugh?
Yeah, and that's basically how I got it figured out right now too. The Giants at the bottom, and then you're gonna have, the Dallas Cowboys right there, maybe an 8-win season, 7-8 at the top,
Okay,
something like
I
that.
say about 8 or 9. So we about some particle on
It's
that
gonna
one.
max out.
Okay, then of course we got the Commanders or the Redskins. I prefer the Redskins. They should go back to Redskins. It was an awesome name. Whatever. Anyway,
I like that voice.
look, they almost got there last year. Let's be honest. I think if anything, it was a little bit of we needed a little bit more seasoning. We needed a little bit more vibing together, and perhaps we could pull it off. They made some good moves in the offseason. They should have made a move sooner by signing Scary Terry, but they got it together in time. So that defense gonna be a little bit better. That offense gonna be a little bit better. We'll have to see what the running game look like without the guy that they traded.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that.
because they still got Eckler over there, but he really ain't no bruiser back like that. He's more of a third down scat type back. So we'll see how that play out. But assuming Jaden Daniels gonna be that much better this year because he got a whole year under his belt and he see that the NFL, I can handle this. So if he did his homework and stay healthy, I could definitely see them winning maybe even 12 games. But I'm gonna say 11-6. It'd definitely be good enough to get them in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 11-6, 10-7 on that team too. Because I still feel like they're gonna be a good team, but still people gonna figure them out, man. Because they didn't have enough tape on Jaden Daniels and what he was offering. But yeah, some teams gonna figure him out this year, and he gonna have some of them struggles too because he didn't really struggle that much because they didn't ask that much for him. But he's gonna try to do more to help the team win. You know how it is that sophomore year. And that's why I think some of the mistakes going to start happening. But yeah, I definitely agree with that.
And keep in mind, I think they get most of those losses later in the season because they got to play the division. And I think that's going to be the thing. I think most of the losses they get this year will be against the division. That being said, of course, that means we both got the Eagles finishing first in that division. Not only do I have them finishing first in that division, I got them having the best record in the National Football League this year. I mean, bottom line, they're the Super Bowl champions, and they did not digress.
No.
They actually, on paper at least, got even better, which is scary because not only do they got all the veterans coming back, but they got the youngsters with a year under their belt and the Super Bowl ring on their finger. And remember, I still felt like even last year to a small degree that Hurts was hurt for a while. If he is fully healthy and on the same page with AJ Brown, and don't forget about Devontae Smith, the
If he,
best second quarterback not named T. Higgins in the National Football League. Yeah, I like it a lot over there. It's looking real, real good. DeJean definitely early candidate for Player of the Year defensively. I can see that dude doing something. I think they're actually gonna be better at defensive back now. They got rid of a couple veterans, but they replaced them with good quality picks. I'm really liking what they got going on over there. And I think Sirianno, we ain't got to deal with all the craziness that went on early on last year with that. So, yeah, I got them. I see them losing. Matter of fact, I almost break down the 3 games I think they're going to lose. I think they lose the game in Dallas. I think they lose the game in Washington to the Redskins. and I think they lose a game early on just on some hokum pokum stuff.
Yeah, I got them like 14-3, 15-2 as well. At the least, they're going
Hmm.
15-3. Because
Yep.
I look at it, as Quinyon Mitchell was one of the guys that he was one of the best cornerbacks that came out. Then you turn around and got Cooper DeJean. You already had a hell of a line, as far as your defensive line with Jalen Mills, and you have all these like really killers over there, man. I
All them
mean,
Georgia kids, yeah.
you got a lot of good dudes over there, man. It's just really a strong front, and then you got those two year like you said, a year under their belt and the Super Bowl championship. Man, they're gonna be hungry and they're gonna play that way. I just feel like you said, a healthy, team, especially with Jalen Hurts. And then, because I know AJ Brown was kind of banged up right now. Let's see if he can make that first game. And then Devontae Smith, man, there's a lot of good stuff going on over there, man. And Saquon Barkley, can't forget about that man.
Oh, that's definitely a key there.
So yeah, I definitely had them having the best record in the league.
I agree.
I'm gonna go ahead now and go into the AFC North. So with the AFC North, you got the Ravens, the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right. Let us first start out with the dumpster fire. Okay. The dumpster fire that is the Cleveland Browns. Man, mm, mm, mm. I just kind of that's one of them franchises that you feel like Cleveland. I feel bad for y'all. Y'all deserve better. You deserve a better owner. You deserve a better team. They doing stuff crazy over there. They really is. The fact that Miles Garrett went through what he went through before you paid him, and you know you had to pay him. Your defense is kind of trash without him. That's that. Then of course the whole quarterback debacle. At one point, you got 6 quarterbacks on the payroll. 6 of them. 6 of them. Now, granted, part of it was due to injury and all that. Yeah, and just the way y'all played this whole preseason thing with Gabriel and of course Shador Sanders, that was messy. Knowing in the end, neither one of them gonna start. We know that. But we also know your quarterback is in his early 40s and not a mobile quarterback, okay? Just got a good arm. Make good decisions. You better hope that that's what it takes. Now, you actually got some decent weapons in terms of your skilled players on the offensive end, but just the way y'all set up, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I I want to say y'all gonna have a real bad season. I don't see y'all having a real bad for some strange reason. I still could see y'all winning maybe 7. Y'all gonna finish last in that division, but you might play a little bit better than people give you credit for in the end.
That defense always gonna help them out because people don't really give credit where credit is due with their defense. They're not as good as they used to be in the past, but for some odd reason they get the job done. And I still feel like right now, when you look at them, just the players alone on offense, like you said, you still got Jerome Ford, you still got Jerry Judy over there. And
Mm-hmm.
then you got some guys who can go over there and execute like Tillman. A lot of people are sleeping on Cedric Tillman as well as a wide receiver. So, yeah, they got some pretty good things going on, but it's just a massive franchise. That's how I look at it. The defense is not as good as they used to be. And so I believe that's going to hurt them. But then somehow, man, it seems like they always have their division number. And that along with squeaking out some probably close games to some bad competition, I can have them go maybe 6 games, 7 games at the least. I can pick that
Yeah,
up. I respect that.
yeah, we about the same play. Then of course we said we talk about. Let's talk about it now. It's still a quarterback in that room. We got to have a talk about, and that dude is Deshaun Watson. Yes, people, he's still on that squad. He still be practicing. He still been working out. He's still been around the team. Now, in the ideal world, we know they want to go ahead and send him somewhere. But you also got to remember, fully guaranteed contract. Got to pay him every dime, every penny. Make sure you couldn't trade him. No trade clause, the whole deal. So you got 2 more years left on that contract. Let's just say things get real bad real quick. We get down to Shador at number 3, and he ain't looking that great. At some point, do you say, well, he seemed healthy enough. Come on, Deshaun, let's give it one more try. What's your thoughts, Hugh?
Crazy thing was last year before he got hurt, he was actually playing pretty good, man. He was playing good enough to where they started to compete, and they was playing good against some really good competition. It's just them injuries now been hurting them, man. And it was sad because when people are cheering when you get hurt, that just let you know that speaks volumes. But
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do what they did as far as with the Russell Wilson contract and figure, man, we made a mistake. Even though the sad part is Kevin Stefanski and the ownership is the same ones who brought him in. So, but I know sometimes they feel like when, in general, I don't care how good of a team is or how good you are or think you are, you make bad decisions sometimes and people just move on from it. Like I said, the Russell Wilson situation, to Trey Lance. They gave up all them draft picks for him just to send him out. Yeah, I believe that at some point, if he's not playing up to his potential or what they expected out of that contract, they will basically move on for him and eat the contract.
They should have been already ate the rest of this contract.
Agree.
If you know you messed up and you've publicly acknowledged you messed up, you know you got to pay, charge it to the game. I understand we ain't the billionaires in this thing. It ain't our money, but in the same token, look, man, it causes more problems than it solves. Go ahead and pay that dude to sit at home. Let him be with his beautiful fiance, and maybe one day down the line, another team get him one last shot at it for the low price. But until then, yeah,
And then I have Pitt being the second team from the last. I know they still have some good stuff going on over there, and it hurts me to say it, but who's going to fall off? Me? Is it going to be the Bengals or is it going to be the Ravens? Somebody got to fall off in order for them to really climb that ladder. Funny thing is, regardless of the fact, it's still a possibility that them brothers can make the playoffs, man. That's just something they always have in them. And me saying they're the second from the last team doesn't mean anything because if they come out and have a good enough record, they still can claw for a playoff position.
I
I have
mean,
being like 10-7, maybe 9-8.
I'm very hard pressed to say that they not gonna somehow, just like we did last year, and everybody laughed. And I told y'all he was gonna have a winning season. Y'all ain't want to hear me. I'm hard pressed not to see it happen again.
Yeah.
The man done had 18 consecutive winning seasons. Somehow, some way, they figure some stuff out. They always gonna have a decent defense in Pittsburgh. It all depends on what that offense look like.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to figure if there's anything left in the tank for Aaron Rodgers and he can utilize it, that should be good enough to get them over that hump. Will it make the playoffs for them? Probably not. And I got to be honest. As much as I love Mike Tomlin as a coach, I had to agree with several of the talking heads. If they don't get nowhere in the playoffs this year, I think it's time for Pittsburgh to move on from him.
Yeah, because there's too many one and done seasons, even though they make the playoffs, man. We've seen that happen before in Detroit. Jim Caldwell. We
Mm,
almost made the playoffs. I had a 500 record,
right.
but they still felt like it
And,
wasn't enough.
and, and still at that point, Tomlin is like his early 50s, still a relatively young man. I can see another team getting him a shot,
They're going to
or
swoop.
because he is who he is, well spoken and whatnot. I can see him going ahead and taking one of them spots over here at the desk. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't be surprised as soon as he gets fired, man, or if somebody be right there after him if they try to do anything like that. I think they'd be quick to jump on him as a coach.
Right. Then, of course, for whatever reason, it's always been said that he'd be a good college coach. And, just because he is the leader of men that he is, I get that. But I don't know if he would, how he felt about that in the past about, look,
Yeah.
I'm an NFL coach and a good one. Why y'all trying to send me back?
Mm-hmm. He was
But
going
that being said, college is different now.
to. Mm-hmm.
The NIL and whatnot, who not better to manage that than somebody that deal with millionaire people already?
You got a lot of former coaches and players who now coaches over there, man, and it's gonna be really interesting, man. To see Bill Belichick over there, I never thought in a million years that I would see
Never, of all places.
interested in seeing what's gonna happen this year in college.
Right.
Then I had the Bengals as the number two team fighting for that number one spot. I think
Same.
split record. I mean, split wins and losses as far as between them two when they play each other in the division. I
Hmm.
think that both of them would be like, they'll win at home. And then, of course, like I said, Baltimore, man, is like, but Baltimore is always one of them scary teams that always do enough to where you respect them. You respect John Harbaugh, and you just respect that organization because they always do the right things. The problem we have with the Baltimore Ravens is what you're gonna do once the playoffs come. That's all
Right now,
you have with them.
first let's get to the Bengals. Okay, we already know they're gonna have a hell of an offense. Joe Burrow, assuming he stays healthy, assuming all these people stay healthy, by the way, that's the caveat for all of this. If the major people on any of these teams get hurt, then whatever we just said, throw it out the window. But anyway, that offense is going to be good. The defense just needs to be a little bit better than respectable. Because last year when they was losing, more times than not, that's what lost them the game, defense. No disrespect to Trey Henderson, because he did his job and then some. But the rest of that defense, not so much.
Mm-mm.
They've improved that some, so it should be good enough to get them playoff light. So I say they win a solid 11. And then, of course, the Ravens, this it, man. This the make or break year for the Ravens, much like it is for Pittsburgh.
In the bill.
Time to put up or shut up. Lamar, you got to do your thing, bruh. You got to be the MVP this year. Plain and simple, because when all else fails, damn that trying to prove you a pocket passer, do what you got to do. If you got to dip, then you dip. You the best runner on the field at any given time. Wide receiver, quarterback, running back, matters not. You that guy. Sometimes you got to take it upon yourself and say, I'm that guy. That being said, you ain't always got to do it. Because sometimes you got to remember, I'm that guy, but I still got that guy.
Absolutely.
And that's not your fault. That's the fault of the coaches. Some games, it only makes sense. Look, it's raining like a motherfucker. We ain't doing nothing this first half. Man, y'all better feed the beast. Mark Henry built like motherfucking Derrick Henry. You better feed that dude. 250 pounds of power. Let him stiff arm his way to about 3-4 touchdowns. If that dude don't have the most rushing touchdowns in the league, something wrong.
Yeah, that dude's
And I'm talking about including Saquon Barkley, including Jameer Gibbs. That dude should have the most rushing touchdowns in the league this season.
absolutely with his height and speed
Right.
combination.
And Lamar Jackson should have the most rushing touchdowns of any quarterback not named.
Josh Allen.
No, 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 no.
Oh yeah, the tush push. Tush push.
Exactly. Not named that dude. Because you already know anytime they get anywhere close,
Jalen
they
Hurts
get
running that
dropped.
ball in.
So yeah, I definitely got the Ravens finishing first. I got them having the second best record in the league. So I'm giving them a nice 13-4. And that's gonna be a couple weeks where Lamar fall off. That's where we gonna find out what Lamar's made of. Cause it's gonna be them couple weeks in a row where they probably lose. And you already know it's gonna be said. Well, your Lamar's good, but you see, it's this right here we're talking about. At this point, Lamar, you gotta put all that. Look, I'm that dude. Period. I'm about to show y'all. Because when you do that, amazing things happen. We don't call you Action Jackson for nothing.
Yeah, I'd give them that like a 12-4, 12-5, 13-4. They always usually be respected in that spot right there.
Absolutely. And yeah, we got to give
The
the
playoff.
older Harbaugh his respect, okay? He
Mm-hmm.
ain't been getting the love that he should be. Remember, he is the second longest tenured coach in the National Football League behind Tomlin. So, no, I take that lie back. He actually is the first tenured because he's been coached longer than Tomlin. And he got 2 rings to show. So, show that dude the respect.
So yeah, man. Now since we went to the AFC North, you already know what time it is, man. We about to go into the NFC North. You already know that division: Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings, and the Detroit Lions.
I don't know no other division. I know that. All right. At the bottom, sorry, y'all. Chicago, they still ain't gonna be ready yet. I think, like I said, we try not to put too much credence into the preseason, but I've seen enough in the preseason to know, yeah, they gonna have some growing pains. Okay. You expecting that dude Caleb to just do, but the thing is, Johnson then went there like, my way works. We're gonna do it my way. He is not gonna adjust to Caleb. Caleb gonna have to adjust to him. That's where the problem gonna come in. Do Caleb have weapons on offense? Hell yeah. Do we have a better offensive line this year? Hell yeah. Do they have a decent defense? Hell yeah. Is that gonna be good enough to finish out of last in that division? No. No. And the best thing you can hope for is that in them games late in the season in Chicago, the weather extra bad to where whatever team they playing gonna have just as much problems as they do. Because if it's a nice, decent season, yeah. So that being said, 7-9,
Yeah, I got them there, 7 and 10.
and I think that's right, 7-10. My bad, but yeah, I think that might be pushing it.
Then I have after that, surprising enough to a lot of people, I have Green Bay being that second team. Reason being, I just feel like if they put too much on Jordan Love, they can have issues, man. They have a squad over there. Don't get me wrong. You got Josh Jacobs and you got a lot of the good guys on offense, and the defense is still decent. But if you put too much on Jordan Love, man, that can be something that'll hurt them this year because they feel like the first year he did well. He did well just recently in that second year. In the third year, if they put too much pressure on him, man, I can see him folding because of think about E. And it's not because of the talent standpoint. He's injury prone too, man. He's been out a few games with bad injuries, and that's what I'm putting into play right now. If he try to take matters in his own hands and be a gunslinger too, we see him have that Brett Favre type mentality, and then plus on trying
True,
to
true.
run and do like scatter plays, and he could get sacked and hurt because he got hurt a few times on plays it was unnecessary. He could just throw the ball away and live to see another day. I have them at the least being like a 9 and 8.
Oh my! Now a lot of the talking heads got them dudes winning the division, okay, and a
Uh,
couple of them got them winning it outright. I think they on rock, but I can understand it. I don't have them that far down. I have Minnesota in that spot instead because you saying don't put too much on Jordan Love and making your proclaim, I think you putting too much on JJ McCarthy.
yeah,
Because in the end, the difference between him and Jordan Love have proven that he can do it to some degree on this level. JJ ain't proved a damn thing. No disrespect to my Michigan dude go blue, but that dude ain't played in no NFL game yet. We assume he gonna do good. He got the prerequisites and everything. 6'4", nice arm can scramble, but is it gonna work? Yeah, got very good offensive weapons in Minnesota. Needless saying, this added one today with Thielen. But that don't necessarily equate itself to I'm about to handle big. Remember that team finished 14-3 last year? We
mhm,
definitely not getting that this year. No sirree.
at all.
But I can see in probably what's gonna be the best division in football this year, them finishing a strong 10-7 and finishing below the Packers, who I got next.
The one thing that I like they did, but then I'm still concerned because you got two guys who still not away from being injury prone. It's JJ McCarthy. He had that injury that cost him the whole year. So that's my concern with him. But then you have a Carson Wentz, man, who's always injured, who's always having problems with injuries. When
Mm.
he get a chance to play, and when he play, he's not that bad. But when is that going to be the case? So yeah, that's the one problems and concerns I have with them. I still feel like they have enough to where their defense will help them out, but I think that it'll be like a needle like or it'll be real close in that division between them and Green Bay. And I have them like being like probably 11-6 versus that 10-7 with Green Bay.
Okay, well, I got Green Bay going about 11-6, maybe 12-5. And obviously, we both have the Lions winning the division, but it ain't going to be like, well, it really wasn't one last year, truthfully, but they're going to have to put some work in this year, okay? Nobody had them going 15-2 last year. I don't give a damn what you say. You was a laugh, you say you did. Remember, last year I had them going 12-5. The year before, what did I have them going? 12-5. What I got them going this year? Again, 12-5. Same scenario. There will be games where the Lions, particularly Jared Goff, has a bad day.
Yeah.
On them days, I'm gonna get the text from you like, "What's up with your boy?" You see, that's what I'm talking about. He all right, but he ain't gonna get there. I don't think we gonna make it. Then it's gonna be them days. All you gonna hear is Jared Goff, Jared Goff, and you gonna think he the next coming of Joe Montana in this boat. That's just how I go. I
Yeah.
mean, in the end, the Lions got weapons on weapons on weapons. Okay, and yes, we did lose the coordinator, but now I think we find out how good a coach Dan Campbell really is. Okay, because remember, some people said, yeah, he drew up the offense, but Dan was the one that dictated what we did. Because in the end, he had to make the offense that way because Dan had to have options for when he went for it on fourth down. Are we gonna go for it on fourth down a lot again this year? Y'all seen the preseason games, you know the answer to that. He went for it with that part of the squad. You know he's gonna do it with the real squad.
And then
The
people
question
don't
is, yeah,
the John Morton, and he was here. And a lot of times when everybody thought a lot of that offense was going to, or it was more credit given to Ben Johnson, that's when Dan Campbell stepped in. It was like he drew up a lot of those plays too, and he had stuff to do with the high-powered offense. I still believe too. It might be a struggle on defense slightly. That's why that 12-5 is respectable because my man Shepard, not disrespecting him because he's already grew up in that actual, same key card defense with, our boy Aaron Glenn. So, he was a student of the game. So he got that opportunity to be there firsthand and to learn how to run a defense. But still, it's going to be some growing pains, man. I've still had concerns too because I've seen how Saeem went to, if I'm not mistaken, he's on the practice squad. I'm not sure. But yeah, man, that pass rush help, man, is still an issue with me because after Aiden Hutchinson, you got Marcus Davenport, and it's like, man, his injury history has been an issue with me. So we're gonna have a few games where we have a hiccup and some growing pain. So yeah,
right. And of course, McNeil not scheduled to be back to sometime middle of the season, and that's not to say he's gonna be a powerhouse when he get back. And
mm,
you know, we definitely will have to see how well the development went this season for the Lions because that's another key factor. Yes, they have all those weapons on offense, but as you know, the offensive line took some big hits with the retirement of Ragnow
mm,
and Zagler moving on, and
yep,
basically that dude over there on the left side, Decker, getting a year older, and you got some new kids you done threw in the mix. So we're gonna have to see how that part plays out because in the end, we know the key to golf is to keep him in the pocket where he got time to figure things out. If he got to improvise, not so much, not so much. So yeah,
if he
could we
gets shaky,
could we do 11-6 instead? I could see it, but
be surprised.
it's still too much good going on there to where I can not see us not making the playoffs
Yeah, I
or
agree.
winning that division.
Let's go to the AFC South now, with
Do we have to?
yeah, I want to get this one out the way quick. That's why I picked this one. The Tennessee Titans, we got the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Plain and simple. I got Houston winning that division.
Mhm.
They will make good from last year. They had a lot of key injuries, particularly near the end of the year. I think they got a better offensive line. So if you keep CJ Stroud upright where he can dissect and handle biz, he will get touchdowns going. And even though Mixon is probably not going to play at least that first half of the season, I still think they'll have a decent enough running game to pull it off.
Yeah. You know who over
Jacksonville,
there, you boy. You know who over there. So he really gonna step up. Nick
yeah. Jacksonville, I think will be second begrudgingly just because they in that division. Speaking of somebody that need to prove themselves for sure this year, the golden boy himself,
Chubb.
Trevor Lawrence. Where are you, sir? Remember, once upon a time, you was the can't miss hit. Everybody wanted tank for Trevor and all that. Remember that?
Yep.
In our first year, we gave you a pass because your coach was trash because he was born in Toledo. No complete disrespect to Toledo because Jim Harbaugh was born in Toledo too. But anyway, I digress. Uh, the key is what factor does Travis Hunter play on that squad? Because I'm real curious to see how they play this. In the end, Travis Hunter, you will not get what you want. You cannot realistically play 100 plays in an NFL football game on offense and defense. You are not built for that to work long term, even this season, let alone period. At some point, they are going to have to make a decision, and they're going to make that decision early on in the season. All right, Travis, truthfully, you a wide receiver, but we're going to put you at DB every now and then.
Mhm.
Or truthfully, Travis, you a DB, but we're going to give you a few plays at wide receiver.
That's gonna
More
happen.
than likely, it's going to be the latter than the front. Because in thinking about him in Colorado, yeah, he was a good receiver at Colorado, obviously. Won a Heisman. But he was definitely the better defender. So ideally, I think that's where he'll get most of his snaps. Now you add all that together, you get maybe an 8-9, 9-8 Jacksonville at their very best. But would it surprise me if they go 5-12? Nope, it would not. And at that point, take the bomb to that boy. Boom! Start all over. Okay, then that leaves us what? The Colts. Mm-mm. The Colts is so frustrating to me.
Yeah.
It really is. Who is the starting quarterback for the Colts?
Daniel Jones.
Oh my God.
AKA they got a new name for him, Indiana Jones.
Oh Lord, Lord. Yeah, it's gonna be a hard time being a Colts fan this year. I'm gonna tell y'all that. Because some games you're gonna think, yeah, we might be all right. Yeah, we might do a little something, something. And then some games you're gonna be like, this bullshit right here, man. Get rid of the coach, get rid of GM. The owner died. I don't blame him. It's gonna be an interesting year for the Colts.
Yeah. Because they got talent over there.
7, 8, 9, 6. I don't even know what record to get in. I could see them winning 10. I could see them losing 11. I don't know what we're gonna get. And as far as Richardson go, stop playing with us. All right. If that dude don't play at some point this year, I don't think he should. I think you have to charge that experiment to the game. And you can't even really take his athleticism and say, okay, well, we're gonna make you something else. I don't think that'll work with him at running back, tight end. I just don't see it for him. And then of course you did the one thing you cannot ever, ever, ever do on an NFL field. I'm tired. Can I sit down? You will never live that down.
Never.
Particularly for real football fans like that dude right there. He will never forget that you did that. Never, ever, 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 ever. So even if you win a Super Bowl ring, but you still was a quitter. I mean, yeah, that's the Colts. And then of course, who's that last team?
Tennessee. I don't see no improvements from last year, really, except the quarterback.
Cam Ward, good luck. You will have the worst record in the league, despite yourself. Sorry. I get them 5-12.
Yeah.
If
I
that.
don't feel for them neither.
If that.
And I can't even argue with you on what you said because there's so much toss up in Indiana. or Indianapolis, whatever the hell you want.
Out of any team in the league, I really don't know what we got with them.
Houston, of course, Jacksonville, because they do got talent over there too,
They
like you,
do.
and then Indiana and Tennessee. So yeah, we about to
Yeah.
that. I definitely can't argue with that.
Some of the worst games we'll see this year is when that division play each other. It is.
And then now we're going to go over to the NFC South, and that's on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, New Orleans Saints, Carolina Panthers, and the Atlanta Falcons.
The only reason why they ain't so bad is because they not the AFC side.
Mm-hmm.
But they clearly the worst division in the NFC.
Yes.
I mean, okay, let's see. At the bottom, gotta go with New Orleans. Sorry.
Yeah.
If
See
if
now,
Tennessee don't have the worst record in the league, they will. Plain and simple. It's a lot going on there. I could definitely see a scenario where we get to the trading deadline and be like, you know what? Boom! Who got some value up in here? Oh, you want him? Second round pick? Yeah, you got him. You want him? Third round? Yeah, yeah. I see that going on with them because
I didn't. They didn't do it last year.
the only reason why they might make out all right is because they play teams in their division. And it's something about when they play their division, particularly Atlanta and Tampa Bay, where they somehow suddenly become a lot better team than we get them credit for. But yeah, long story short, yeah, you got the boy genius at coach, but that ain't gonna be enough to get y'all nowhere near the hunt. You're done. Okay, next that leaves us Carolina. Again, I can't dog Carolina because you see them working. You see the blueprint slowly taking place in Carolina. The key obviously is, do they have a real quarterback or not? Bryce Young off 5'9", 10 inches of him. This is his year. He got to show them I can do this. I just need the help that I need. If he can prove that to them, and they should then put in the money to make it happen, they'll have something there.
They gave them the weapons.
If they can't get that out of him halfway through the season, you got to start thinking about the future. And at that point, let's just say they 2-6 at that point. Don't sit that brother down. Look, man, and you the backup and everything, but tell him what you got to tell him. Play whoever his backup in rest season and hit the full tank mode. And at that point, pray to God that dude named Manning wants to come to Carolina.
That's
But yeah, 7-9 for them, maybe,
and that's being good, man. That's being real.
maybe. Okay, so yeah, that division comes down to these two teams, Atlanta and Tampa Bay. Both of them teams gonna actually be pretty decent.
They are.
I'm pressed to say I'm going with Tampa Bay. Only because I really, really, really like that dude, Baker Mayfield. Baker then went through some things and been through some things, but in the end, we know Baker got this.
Absolutely.
And in the NFL, if you ain't got this, you ain't got that, the next best thing to have is a lot of this. And he got a little bit of them first too, but he definitely got a lot of this. And that team feeds off of that. Okay. Of course, they got weapons in Tampa Bay. And remember, part of the problem they had was they couldn't stay healthy. You
Yeah,
keep
absolutely.
you keep everybody healthy, and they got a decent defense. I see them winning 11. Okay, and because they in their division, most of them wins gonna be against their division. So I got them barely over Atlanta because I like that dude Michael Penix Jr. too.
Absolutely.
Love it. I mean, he a lefty like me. How could I not like that dude? And the running back, I think this is gonna be his year to finally show why everybody was so high on him.
John, yeah.
Yep, and I think Pitt's gonna finally show why everybody was so high on him.
We already been seeing the emergence of Drake London. He really been showing.
Absolutely underrated receiver. So I I wouldn't be surprised if Atlanta won. Would be surprised Tampa Bay won. They right there 11, 10, 10 to 7, 11, 6. They both right about there. But just for the sake of the argument, I'm going with Tampa Bay barely.
Yeah, and that's how I'm going. I'm going New Orleans, of course. I'm going Carolina and New Orleans. I think gonna be like 5-12, honestly.
Gonna be slightly better than Tennessee. Yep.
And then I'm gonna give you, Carolina 7-9 sounds
Yeah,
feasible.
that's about right.
I'm
7
going
to 10,
to give
yeah.
them like 10-7, and then
Yeah.
11-6, of course, the Tampa Bay squeaking it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. As far as their division go, and then we have the AFC West.
Gonna be an interesting division this year. Okay,
Then, of course, that's Denver, the Los Angeles Chargers. You got Las Vegas Raiders, and your, defending AFC Conference champions, the Kansas City Chiefs.
well, I think we can pretty much give 2 wins to everybody in that division off rip because they get to play the Raiders. Raiders definitely the worst team in that division. For some reason, I think they're gonna be slightly better
Yeah,
than we think. That's why I can't say they're as bad as the Titans or the Saints,
I'm gonna go 7-9 with them.
but I can see them making 6 or 7 wins. Yeah. I think their defense will be improved. Max Crosby will be back and doing his thing. But of course, I think it's safe to say, unless he got the no trade clause, I don't remember if he did or not, that we'll be having that discussion again around the trade deadline. Particularly if certain things don't work out over here, because we know that brother want to come home. Come home, Max. Come home. I ain't gave up on you. Anyway, yeah. Then of course they got Bowers at receiver. Want to see what he gonna do in his second year. And long story short, they're gonna take a lot of butt whooping. So yeah, Raiders definitely last.
Mhm.
All right, next. I gotta give them a little bit more respect, but I can't. I'm going with Denver Broncos. I know they made the playoffs last year. I know they should be even better this year after a year under his belt, under a very good football coach, particularly an offensive coach. It's just something about it that just can't make me pick them over that next team. I think they win a solid 9 or 10. I think depending on what the rest of the divisions look like, they may or may not make that wild card playoff. But yeah, Denver gonna be a good team again, but it's just gonna be times where they just don't quite do what they need to do to get it done. I definitely like them pretty much this year against any team they play at home, though, including the Chiefs. So yeah, I got them next. All right, Hugh.
This how I look at it right now.
Uh-huh.
Las Vegas, of course, gonna be on the bottom.
Yeah.
I get them 7-9 for sure.
Yeah.
But the next team, I believe, is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. Yeah. I
And
can see it.
the crazy part is it's a toss up between them two teams. Them in Denver is so hard
Yeah.
to choose. That's why I can't be like, oh man, are you crazy or disagreeing with E on that because of the fact is you don't know which team's going to show up. But I believe that's going to be the more banged up team out of the two because you already got Najee Harris is already banged up, playing with fireworks and got injured. That
Yeah.
dude never seemed like he stayed healthy in the season.
What is it about NFL players and fireworks?
And you you me both. I want to know that
Man.
but it's just kind of strange because I just don't trust some of the players over there, man. As far as their health. Other than that, I still feel like they're going to be one of the better teams, and they're going to possibly be a wild card team.
Right. I mean, because I got the Chargers next, but like he said about the injuries, that damn Bosa get hurt every year. Matter of
Every
fact, both them damn Bosas get hurt every year. Him and his brother in San Francisco. But you got that Khalil Mack. He getting older now, so I don't know how big a factor he will or won't be. Aber, he seemed to always get hurt at some point during the season, but he shows us at times that he should be considered top 5 if he could be consistent with it.
Dervin
He
James.
really ain't had no receivers. He got a few to work with this year. The running game gonna be decent regardless of Harris, because Harbaugh always got to have a decent running game.
Monster, the dude from North
And
Carolina.
And of course, he always got some tight ends in the work and all that. So yeah, like I said, I see the Chargers being one game better. I think you got the Broncos one game better. So it makes sense. And yes, people, like it or not, I know y'all hate when I say it, but it's the Chiefs again. They done won the division 10 years in a row. I don't see anything that indicates that they won't do it yet again. Patrick Mahomes is still their quarterback. He's still that dude, okay? Travis Kelce still got some stuff left in the tank. They got some excellent receivers to work out, even though Rasheed Rice going to take a little time off. And, Mahomes still that dude, okay? The defense will be better. Chris Jones can be highly disruptive. I like that kid, the Greek kid, Karkalis. I can't think of his name. You know who I'm talking about. They version of the Greek freak. And yeah, I gotta go with the Chiefs again. Though they definitely do not finish 15-2 this season. I'm looking more like 13-4, 12-5, because remember, a lot of those games they won last year was some fluky, hokey pokey type stuff. I don't think we get as much of that from them this year. Either they gonna convincingly win some of these games, or some of these games they definitely gonna lose.
Yeah, because with Denver now being my second team in that division, I have them going like probably 11-7.
Yeah, I could definitely see Denver beating them in Denver, for example.
Oh, absolutely. And then Kansas City, I had them at 12-5 this year.
I pretty much got them there too.
Maybe 13-4, but I'm gonna go 12.
Maybe.
Because like you said, a lot of that fluke stuff they did last year shocked the heck out of me. And we have some fluke games ourselves, but I don't think it's gonna be none of that this year, man. So yeah, I definitely
I
still
think we definitely see more parity overall this season. So yeah.
they remind me so much of how the Patriots used to be back in the day. Like if they could just get to the playoffs, man, they're going to be a dangerous team because you don't know what you're going to have in Josh Allen as usual. You never know with Lamar. He always seemed like, because remember, man, the last 2 years I said Lamar was going to finally win that, the AFC Conference Championship, and it never happened yet. So until he can prove it to me, I definitely still have Kansas City being the kings of that after the AFC in general.
Yep. Quick, for the production department, we forgot the commercial break this time. Just throw it in there where you get a minute.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And your dish is darlings. With Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
He talks sports his way. It's the Guru's perspective.
If you're building your dream from scratch, mic in one hand, hustle in the other, this one's for you. Road to Stardom Network and Nighthawk Network present a podcast for the indie by the indie, all genres, all grinds. From hip-hop to metal, jazz to trap, we're breaking boundaries. And it's not just artists. Entrepreneurs, creatives, and self-made bosses, we see you. We're giving you the spotlight. This ain't mainstream, this is your stream. Coming soon. Be ready.
Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. Get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag. Long as I wake up in the morning, I'ma get a bag. get a bag, yeah, I'ma get a bag. Long as I wake up in the
Okay.
morning, I'ma get a bag.
Yeah, because yeah, we know this one's gonna be a long one
Yeah,
too.
just keep it going.
All right. Now, last but not least, we're gonna go with the NFC West now.
Another interesting division.
It is. It's gonna be a funky division this year because you have
Indeed.
the Los Angeles Rams, San Francisco 49ers, Arizona, and Seattle. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to me. This is
More than probably any other division in football, injuries will be the key to how well that division does.
because they already got banged up stuff and players banged up at San Fran right now. And
Absolutely.
you have it where we don't even really know if Matthew Stafford's going to start this first game because he's been having back injuries. Kyler Murray is a smaller stature quarterback, so he's out and he usually have injuries. And that was the most sturdiest and the most healthiest I've seen Sam Darnold. So I want to see how that's going to play an effect with him too with the new team in Seattle because I feel like he had definitely a better O line over in Minnesota versus what he gonna have over in Seattle.
The thing is, if he still had the big target over there in Seattle, I damn it would pick them to finish second.
Mm-hmm.
But because he don't, I
That
really got them last. But barely. But barely. I think every team in that division finishes somewhere around 500 or higher. So I could see them being 8-9ish, 7-10ish. I think Sam Darnold will have a couple of them games like he did last year against the Lions, where it's gonna be like, where the is all these people coming from? Oh my God, what to do? But then he gonna have some games like, yeah, I done learned some things. I'm Sam Darnold. Respect me, damn it. And you know, they defense in Seattle always gonna be at least halfway decent, Carroll or not. So I see them doing all right. Like to mention, they play their division. I see them playing pretty good against every team in their division, including San Francisco. So yeah, I get them 7-10. Yeah. Next, I'm going with the Cardinals. It really depends on what Kyler Murray trying to do with himself. Okay, he a quarterback in this league. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, if he is not using this and trying to do it with this in the legs, that's where the problem gonna come in. We know in full effect, a true Kyler Murray is an MVP candidate. Remember, he that same dude that took them to 10-0 record a couple years ago before things kind of fell off.
Yeah,
He is very capable. And that team is very capable. I like that defense. That defense is highly underrated.
that was nice last year, man. A lot of
Absolutely.
defense.
Buda Baker, I love that dude. I love that dude. So yeah, don't sleep on them. I could see them going 9-8. It could happen. I could almost see them going 10-7. Then of course, it's time for the Rams to understand something. This is probably it for my brother Matthew Stafford. Okay,
Yeah,
he done played a long time in this league. He done been through a hell of a lot. Playing for the Lions during them times for a dozen years was like playing 20 years by itself. Okay, and then you came with the Rams. You did what you had to do. You got the ring. That dude a Hall of Famer. Okay, he is a Hall of Famer. And then of course you're looking at your good buddy over there down the street with the Dodgers and seeing that he pretty much on his last leg. I see him riding off in the sunset after the season. I can see you doing the same.
oh, Kershaw and Stafford.
Yep. So I think Stafford got one more good run in him if that back hold up, and it'll be good enough to get them 11 wins. I think in the end, 49ers right under them at 10. Brock Purdy, he got his money. I don't think he's gonna play the same.
No,
I don't.
and that's how I have it. I have it basically, and it's funny because that's how the actual division is set up with the Rams, San Fran, Arizona, and Seattle. But the difference is, I'm gonna flip it. I feel like it's too many uncertainties in San Francisco. I'm gonna go Arizona and then the Los Angeles Rams because when you look at it, Seattle, I think there's gonna be a decent team, like you said,
Mm,
like 7-9. But
mm,
besides Sam Darnold, you got an injury-prone Cooper Cup. You don't have Lockett over there no more DK Metcalf. So that's a question.
right.
You have
So,
Kenneth Walker the third, who's always injured. So I mean, come on now.
and I think they still got Charbonnet over there, so it's not like they completely gone that running game. But
Agree. But then where the problem comes at is like, okay, Sam Darnold's gonna have those ghosts, man. He's gonna have it to where he's scared again, and
it
when
happens.
what he gonna do, man? He haven't proved to me he was able to adjust to that yet. So
Yeah,
he can improve that, man. I'm gonna definitely go ahead, and that's why I'm gonna have Seattle at the bottom. But then San Francisco with their banged up players too, you got to put in consideration Nick Bosa, his brother Joey with Buffalo right now, but he ain't gonna be healthy. Usually he have a little stint. He's not as bad as his brother, but Nick Bosa usually get
right.
banged up as well. So I'm looking at that. DK, I said DK. um, Christian McCaffrey,
McCaffrey, yep.
he's injured. So I think that was the best move for them to get Brian Robinson too as well. But then it's like you got Brandon Ayuk who was out injured and who's banged up, and then I forgot the young kid's name. Is Ricky something?
Yeah, Parasol, the guy that got shot last year.
Yeah, he needs to step up this year, man, because I don't know what's gonna happen with Brandon Ayuk. I see they have Marquez Valdez Scantling over there too. He might be able to benefit from that too, man. So if anybody got the draft right now, pay attention to Brandon Ayuk and his injuries, because right now, if you draft him, that's a good pickup for that team, Marquez Valdez Scantling. But I just don't really see them being healthy, man. And then, losing Dre Greenlaw and then losing Talfunga, yeah,
Right.
issues over there, man. I still feel like they're going to be an okay team, but Debo not being there too is going to hurt them. So I don't really think it's that lot of depth as you would think. And then plus the players are already banged up on offense over there, as you see. This is the healthiest that Christian McCaffrey is going to be. So I think that they're going to be smart to use him as a receiver. We talked about that too. He's going to be lined up as a receiver, and Brian Robinson will get the perks of being that bruiser back to keep McCaffrey healthy. But I just still feel like they're going to slip off, man. And I believe Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. and, just that team in general, man, one of the best things they did too is they already had a decent defense, a young defense. They resigned Baron Browning, which was a heck of a deal for them because he showed them that he could play
True.
that position. But then getting Josh Sweat, that was a sneaky good deal.
Agreed.
Pittsburgh already had, I mean, Philadelphia already have a lot of depth, so they was able to afford to let him go. But that's going to be a hell of a move for them. And
Right.
I believe if Kyler Murray can stay healthy, then you got your James Conner, and you even got Trey McBride, who's a heck of a tight end. You're going to see some
Agreed.
stuff from them. But
And like I said, I like that dude Buda Baker, man.
Buda Baker is the heart and soul of that defense.
Yes,
But
sir.
is why I'm still scared about too, which is why I said those teams are still a toss up to me between them and San Fran is the health and the emergence of Kyler Murray. Man, this is definitely a make or break year for him. But I don't really see nobody beating the Los Angeles Rams due to the fact that you still got the veteran, a savvy veteran, and when he's healthy, Matthew Stafford, even when he's not healthy, he's still one of the toughest players in the league, man. And then the Devontae Adams, man. A lot of people
Let's
sleeping
not forget about that. He
on
still got some
that.
stuff in the tank.
Everything, man. Even though he's getting up in age. And then watch out for Tutu Atwell, man. They got a lot of young guys over there who are actually really good, feasible players. And then Kyron Williams is a bruiser, man.
Right. Then of course Puka Nakua will be back. So
Puka,
there's
man,
that.
he kicked your man's Cooper Cup. I know we've seen this. You remember I said, man, if Cooper Cup is hurt again, man, I don't see him lasting because Puka's still in his rookie contract, and that's exactly what happened. But the X factor on that team too is just the fact that they got a good young defense. That good young defensive front is hell of a. So yeah, I definitely still see them being like a 12-5 and maybe 11-6 and be able to make it out of that division.
All right. What's your rookie to watch this year, Hugh?
Rookie to watch. It's so many easy ones that you could say, but I'm gonna go with the dude in New England. That's why I picked him, man. Travion Henderson.
All right. Yeah, definitely I'm going with the guy that the Giants drafted. So I
Oh,
think he's gonna wreak havoc on that defensive front.
oh yeah. I
But of
think
course, my dark horse, that dude Tesla, baby. I love that dude, Isaac Tesla for the Lions.
yeah, he surprised me, man. Surprised me enough to where we even I was checking out the Woodward Ave, as far as their football podcast, one of my favorites, man, and I always be opinionated on certain things. But at this point, I really thought that they were going to keep Tim Patrick. But when you see the emergence of Tesla and how well he played, yeah, it was time for them to make that move because Tim Patrick is a hell of a threat in the red zone. He's a big dude. He's like 6'4", but guess what? Tesla is 6'4".
And
So
a little quicker.
and he's quicker and he's very athletic. Some of them catches he was catching was ridiculous, man. So that's why I can see now. I said, okay, they feel like he's going to get some of them first team, and he was getting the first team reps and the preseason and then in training camp. So yeah,
Right.
that actually is another good one
And
too.
I think if he have a good enough year, it may be good enough to where by JMO.
I wouldn't be surprised because I feel like he's on
They gotta save some money somewhere.
and he on eggshells too, man. He better not do some of the stupid moves and stupid things
Oh, he don't have no more of that left.
And I'm thinking two is going to be interesting, and I just want this. I'm wishful thinking, but maybe I'm not. I'm just saying, maybe, man. What if? I'm gonna say Shamar Stewart is going to be the reason why Trey Hendrickson probably leave at the end of this year.
I can see that as well.
That's one of my sleepers as well.
Right. All right. So that being said, we got to go to it. Who's winning that MVP, sir?
The MVP. I'm trying to see right now. This year, I'm gonna actually go with I'm gonna say your man's in Cincinnati. I'm gonna give it to Joe Cool this year finally.
Interesting. I myself, I'm again, as I think I did last year. I'm going with Action Jackson.
Yeah, you
I
can't
think
you
he
never go
wins.
off with that man.
I
Never.
think he wins yet another MVP.
Because he played MVP caliber football in the season, but after the season's what we usually run.
Right. My sleeper pick actually is his teammate, Derrick Henry.
King Henry.
Because I could see him getting 1,800 yards this year.
Yeah, my sleeper pick, man, is a guy who we're actually all familiar with, but then hell, he should have had it last year. Triple Crown winner. I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase.
I'm not mad at that either. That's a damn good choice.
Hey,
Especially now he didn't got his money.
I probably have him more over your man's, Joe Burrow,
Yep.
honestly.
All right. So who we going for defensive MVP?
Defensive MVP. Come on, man. Please stay healthy this year. Detroit on Aiden Hutchinson.
I too am going with Hutch. Absolutely.
He would have had it last
I
year.
think he would have won it last year too if he stayed healthy. Remember, he had 7.5 sacks. That still end up being the most on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Crazily enough. I think basically we'll learn in the first couple games what we got. He got about 4-5 sacks early on. Look out. I think he on his way to about 20. So, yep, I guess that leads us to one last thing. Who we got going to the big game?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles go back, man. Eagles going back in the actual NFC. And right now, I got a surprise sleeper pick, man, in the AFC right now. And the funny thing is, it's wishful thinking more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Bills get over that hump finally.
All right. Amazingly enough, I too am not not picking the Kansas City Chiefs to go to the Super Bowl this year. Would it surprise me if they do? No, but
At all.
I'm not going with them. I am, of course, with you. I got the Eagles going. Sorry, Lions fans, but yeah, I got the Eagles going in the NFC and AFC. I got my sleeper pick because it's time for them to get over the hump. And if we ain't talking about Buffalo, you know what team we talking about then. It's time for Baltimore to do it. And I honestly feel like if he get there, he winning it. So my pick to win it all, the Ravens.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I'm not picking the Eagles again this year, man. It's going to be a close one if they play Buffalo, but I think Buffalo finally get over that hump. And damn, when you talk about a hump, they got a hump, even because
Right.
they
But
are
bottom
four.
line, either one of them fan bases be real happy with our picks. So we got on Hughes end, he going with Buffalo and the Eagles. I'm going with Baltimore and the Eagles. You got the Bills winning it. I got the Ravens. So we'll meet back up here around by the end of the season and see what we got right and what we did.
Yeah, because I just think with Kansas City right now, no disrespect, but it's a lot more of that camera and the limelight on them right now. You already heard what happened with, your girl Tay Tay and, Travis Kelsey, getting engaged, So it's more of that going on. They're starting to become like that soap opera and stuff over there, regardless of people what they may say. Because I know your family might be throwing sodas and popcorn at me right now.
I
But
can't believe it was you who actually brought it up.
yeah,
I'm done.
'cause you know why? It's a soap opera all of a sudden. That's going to make for soap operas, and it's going to be a little bit more of a distraction than what I think they need this year.
And that being said, y'all, if you're a betting person, I take them odds that the Super Bowl halftime show will be starring one Tay Tay.
Oh yeah, just got the news too. E. Cam Ward, of course, and makes sense. He's going to be starting this year, so it's going to be feast or famine. We already talk about how bad the team going to be.
I don't
Yeah,
even know why it took that long to even mention that. They were supposed to announce that weeks ago.
pretty much. Because even though they didn't play that good in preseason, but he looked pretty sharp.
All right, so usually we shut it down, but we got a few extra minutes. Use on you, bruh.
Oh, okay. Yeah, y'all already know what time it is, man. Appreciate y'all just in general, man. We've been doing a better job, man, and I feel like our promos and the advertisements been well. Shouts out to Coach V, Felicia, with her show, Big Ups to Road, and gotta give shout outs to, my man's Big Meech and Red. Aunt Nikki, of course, can't leave her out. And if you want to catch up with me and get my contacts, man, my social media is Hoovy on Instagram, once you all know. For the most part, we put up our promos on there and advertise what we do at the Nighthawk Network. Sports Guru to You is on Facebook, and that's where I put a lot of the breaking news and I put like the scores to keep up with everything. And Hewley.6 is where I put a lot of the highlight reels, football, basketball, baseball. I do it all. And I just like to say thank you all for chiming in and showing love and support the way you guys do. Once again, this is a new season for us, and we appreciate you guys and all the love because when I looked up the other day, man, I think I put up the advertisement for the show, the Guru Sports Session, and then he put it up, then I put it up, man. We had about 100 viewers, so thank you all for the love, man. We appreciate y'all. That means a lot.
Absolutely, and I definitely concur. Shout out all the other people in the Nighthawk Network working hard, doing their thing. Queen Gemini, also known as Felisa, Road to Stardom, and her show, The Indie Experience. Of course, you got
So,
our guy, Coach Vince, and Real Sports Talk with Coach Vince coming on Fridays at 8. And, I am Nighthawk. Y'all might want to tune in on that sometimes. I did a show last week.
the WNBA too. I love that show.
Yep, we do have that posted now on the TikTok, so you can check out the latest episode of that. I will have it posted on Instagram sometime tomorrow. And speaking of the WNBA, a couple of quick acknowledgments. Alyssa Thomas, man,
She the
she
triple.
is showing out.
She like your man Russell Westbrook when it comes to them triple doubles, man. She just got
Right.
this.
Congratulations on her breaking the record for most triple doubles in the season in the W with 7 and 15, 16, and 12. Dang.
That's crazy. She been averaging, man. When she had them 10 assists, even though she wasn't shooting that well at first, because they was putting the locks on her that last game yesterday, but she still was getting her teammates involved. Man, that's beautiful.
Right.
To let you
And
know,
then remember how we talk about she still ain't even 100% healthy in doing this. That's
other side,
real crazy.
not even like 100% to where
Right.
she would be, and still playing at this high level. So
Right. Then of course you got Asia Wilson showing out with her 30-point games over there for the Aces, who are now suddenly the second seed. Man,
ooh, I think that we bit off more than we could chew prematurely. We was talking all that stuff about getting rid of that whole team, man. They've been on the tear. They won 10 straight, and I got my eye open, man. I'm trying to see if they can make it 11. Will they? Hey, we got
right. Remember, we just got a couple more weeks left in the dub, so keep up with
Mhm.
that. And then of course, my girl Paige Bucket's so proud of her. She, her squad is kind of not so good, but she been showing ass.
I wouldn't be surprised if she the rookie of the year, which it definitely is going to be her.
And that's saying something because there's been some decent rookies this year.
Yeah, she put up that 40 piece, and I was convinced.
No doubt. But all right, of course, we'll talk about all that again next week. We got some excellent games in college football this weekend, so make sure y'all check them out. We'll, of course, highlight some of them as well.
Absolutely.
And we got baseball winding down. Hell, it's about to be training camp for NHL and NBA soon. So yes, that time of year, y'all.
Definitely this time of year, and we starting to get that fall weather here too in Michigan, man. So it's been good to me, man. Definitely this time of year, I love it. The scenery, just the fall, the football, and I don't know if you see my Facebook page, but I had Frank Sinatra, the most wonderful time of the year, on there with all like the stuff going on with the college and everything. So
Nice, nice.
real interesting, man. This is the best part of the year for me.
Yep. So congrats to everything, and we're about to move on out for the week. Have a great weekend, good holiday, and we'll check back in with y'all next week with another episode of the Guru Sports Section. You know what to do, Hugh.